What type of real estate has the best deals right now? Is it apartments, hotels?
All right. Number one, you want to run away from office space because nobody's leasing it. All right. It's a bloodbath in offices. Okay. Unless you have some magic wand that you can rent the space out, you'll die. And you can't convert them to anything else. Everybody's tried apartments. I thought maybe storage, but listen, it's far-fetched. Stay away from office. Multifamily is always a great sector of real estate. Okay. Because it's not very difficult to run. People pay your rent. You fix something if it's broke. You maintain it. You pay your bills. You're done. And the banks love to loan on them. But you have to buy them right. Okay? You can't go on strictly projections. A lot of people buy because they say, oh, yeah, rents are going up. Rents aren't always going up. Right now in Fort Myers, where we just bought, rents are going down. My competition is giving away 2 months free.
So how do you compete with that?
We try to, go beyond the normal marketing, leasing. Well, number one, the product we bought was built as condos. That's why I felt good about the property. There is not one apartment building that you can rent in Fort Myers that's going to give you the square footage and the amenities that we have because it was built as condos. You're basically renting something somebody typically would buy to own. With garages, with private elevators, with big square footage, things like that. So I felt like we can market that property above everybody else, regular apartments. Plus, we're going to think out the box. We're going to go right to the big employers. We're going to do stuff management companies won't do because we're the owner. A management company, and don't get me wrong, there are good management companies out there, but there's still, even the best management companies are not going to cross the line and go beyond the call of duty. They don't care. They're going to charge you a fee based on the gross rents that they collect, and they're going to do an average job of industry standards. But we as the owners, we're going to go beyond that. There's a guy named Paul that works for me, right? I gave him a building out in that senior building I have, and there was a problem filling the vacancies there. Why? Because it was in a very rural area. What does he do? He buys those cheap bandit signs. He drives around maybe a 20-mile radius or a 15-mile radius. He's sticking signs out in high traffic areas, grocery stores. He's contacting senior centers and programs. We do stuff that nobody else is going to do because we're the owners, all right? Average people, employees won't even do it, I mean, we as owners will instruct employees to do it, and they have to do it. But a management company, they're not going to lose sleep. We lose sleep when we lose money. So, multifamily is always the best, smartest thing. If you're small, try to get into a fourplex. Why? Because up to 4 units is still considered residential. It's very easy to get a loan for. You can get FHA. You can get VA if you're a veteran. 4 units is a great place to start. Retail, the only way you're going to make money in retail, I'm telling you right now, you have to buy with vacancy. I mean, otherwise you're buying for a good cap rate. You buy the cap rate, that's the end of it. You get your little increases over the time, and that's it. Retail is strictly about buying it with vacant space that you could fill. That's your upside.
How much does bad management ruin a deal?
Management is everything in real estate. Management is everything. Maintaining a property, keeping it rented, making sure you're at market rents, taking care of your tenants. I mean, management is after you buy it, 99% of real estate is finding the deal. Then 99% of it, after you buy it, is managing it. And if you're doing rehab, you really got to make sure you got a good plan. And then you talk about hotels and storage facilities. Those are more a business.
Yeah.
That's all based on supply and demand. You have to buy real estate like that where there's a demand. Okay, because I've seen plenty of places, hotels and storage places do well in a high demand area, and I've seen them go belly up because there was no demand.
What's the worst situation you've seen an owner be in?
I mean, typically they overpay. That's the biggest problem you're going to see in real estate. You overpaid, and now something came up, and you're going to be underwater. Okay, you didn't do your homework. You didn't check the roof. You didn't prepare for, everything has a life expectancy. Okay, that's why on your tax return, everything is depreciated. Residential is 27.5 years. They depreciate your rental income. Why? Because they feel like these things are losing, and so eventually they're going to have to be replaced or money's got to be pumped into them. On commercial, it's 40 years. So basically, everything has a life cycle. You got to be prepared for the end of that life cycle. If I walk into a 200-unit building and we look at all the ACs, and the ACs are all 20 years old, ding, 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 I may have to be replacing a lot of ACs soon. Same with appliances. You got to check the roof. You got to make sure, you got to do your homework, plumbing, electrical, equipment. You got to take all these things into consideration when you buy a piece of property. You got to look at the future. You got to protect your for what could and will eventually happen. We all know nothing lasts forever.
How quickly could you tell if a seller's motivated? Are there any signs to look for?
If it's on the market, okay, I don't believe in all that off market. Off market. Please, I ain't got time for off market. I want something on the market. The seller's ready to sell. Okay. I mean, you got every deal has a different story. The first question I ask a broker, or I don't even ask this question, they tell me right off the bat, what's the story here? What's the story? There's a story behind every real estate deal. Is the partnership splitting up? Did the guy pass away and the family don't want it? Does the place need work? He doesn't want to fix it up. Does he have a problem managing it? There could be a million different reasons why it's selling. You got to find out the story behind why he's selling. And then you have to act accordingly. And then you got to come in and lowball the shit out of it and make sure you're buying it at the lowest price possible.
Do you ever walk away from a deal just so that they'll chase you?
I walked away from plenty of deals and they chased me back down.
Does that work? Is that a good strategy?
It happens because, I know this guy is not getting $150,000 a unit when his rents are only $1,200 or $1,300 a month. He's dreaming. Okay? He thinks he created his own lottery. It don't work that way. It's all numbers. It's all underwriting. So I'm going to say, listen, I can't pay him more than $100 a door. Simple as that. You won't hear from him. He'll go through his marketing process. The broker will come up with no offers, and he'll either move on to another broker, which is a waste of time, or he'll have to come down to reality. Okay? And a lot of times, he'll come back to reality. The broker will call me up and say, all right, he won't take you 100, but he'll take 110 if you will move quick and show him some hard money. I get my deals because I move quick. I get in there. I get all my inspections done right away. All right. I have bridge loan that I can do myself with a line of credit, so I don't need to wait on no banks. Okay. And I can move quick, and quick money normally gets you the best deal.
What's the most insulting offer you've made that's been accepted?
I mean, I don't think there's anything. I mean, a lot of people say that, oh, he was insulted by your offer. This is business. This is numbers. This is not a personal.
But do you ever just throw out a number
I've
that it's
lowballed the shit out of stuff. I've lowballed the shit out of stuff, and I've lost them. Why? Because I didn't want to pay more. I've gone to my max. I always determine this is the maximum I can pay for a property to keep me in a safety zone that I feel safe in. Okay, I just offered $4.5 million on a 16-story empty building over here, not far from here. It was ruined by the flood. The broker said, listen, yeah, you're going to give him quick cash money, but I got other guys who are real players offering 6 and 8 and all that. I said, well, it's not for me. Place needs a $10 million rehab. I knew it for a fact. I already calculated. Mm-hmm. My son had to walk up 16 flights to the roof because the power is totally shut down in the building because of the flood. And we figured it out. We need $10 million. We need all new power. We need all new plumbing. We need, the hot water heater systems. We needed new elevators. We needed everything. We needed to fix up all the units, blah, 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 blah. We figured $10 million for parking lots, landscaping, all that. And I said, if I pay him more than 4.5 and I got to throw $10 million into it, I'm into it for 14.5. Well, it's only like 180 units in the small units. So it don't make sense. You got to set your comfortable price and not exceed it.
Do you ever buy anything you don't want just because it's a good price?
I mean, if it was a good price, then I should always have the option of flipping it. If I got it for a good price, I could always flip it. But, I mean, listen, I bought deals that maybe I shouldn't have bought it. I did it maybe because of the tax reasons. But I don't know. I mean, you really should never buy a deal that you're unhappy with. If you're not happy the day of closing, and you feel like you made a smart decision, you shouldn't be closing that deal.
What's the quickest you've ever flipped a property?
I've flipped properties. I've sold them before I even bought them.
So you like wholesaled it?
I bought a package of properties, and somebody wanted to buy one piece out of a 5-package deal. So when it came to closing, I bought it at a certain price, but then I let the other guy take over that piece at a higher price.
How much did you make on that deal?
Probably about 30 grand a door. It was about 20 doors. So I made about 600 grand. I've also flipped deals at the, when I was young, I would do foreclosures on the courthouse steps. That's the way they used to do them. We'd all stand on the courthouse steps, and the property's going up for auction, and the guy comes out from the county, and he's taking bids and all that, and we're all bidding against each other. And I would win properties in California, and as soon as the auction's over, the guy comes up to me and says, I should have overbidded you. I really wanted that place, and I was willing to pay X amount of dollars more. Here, give me the money. I wouldn't even take title to it.
Wow.
Give me the money. I tell the guy, put it in his name. I mean, there's always opportunities there, if you find the right deal.
Now, really quick, I just want to say that most people know that they should have an LLC, but they keep pushing it off because it sounds super complicated. Well, that's why we partnered with Northwest Registered Agent. They make the entire process so simple that you could just get it done today.
For $39 plus state fees, Northwest forms your LLC and handles the state filings for you.
You get your operating agreement, member certificates, and banking resolutions, which is all the paperwork that actually makes it official.
And that's all that, plus a free domain, email, phone line, brand protection, and mail forwarding are bundled in so your business is ready to operate in the same day.
And your home address never goes on the public record. Northwest uses their own address in your filings instead of yours.
So if forming an LLC has been sitting on your to-do list for long enough, today is the day. Just go to northwestregisteredagent.com to get started.
That's northwestregisteredagent.com, or click the link down below in the description to get your LLC filed.
Thank you to Northwest Registered Agent for sponsoring this episode, and back to the podcast.